few Sundays ago, some of you were here when Hal preached. And he preached about that time when Jesus sends the disciples out, 2 by 2, and tells them not to take very much with them, to go and teach and preach and heal in Jesus' name. And Hal preached about where it is that we get that authority and how it's not from stuff that we carry with us, but from the ways that Jesus has changed us and touched us. Well, this story that I just read takes place right after that. Jesus had sent the disciples out, and they come back. And you know what? It worked. They went out 2 by 2 and were teaching and healing and preaching, and the people were coming to them, and it was amazing. And they come back and they tell Jesus it worked. And Jesus probably smiled and said, yeah, okay, now it's time to rest. Good work. Come away and rest for a little while. But you know what? They can't rest because all over the countryside, people have heard that there is healing in Jesus' name. And they go to wherever Jesus and the disciples are. Jesus and the disciples try to take a boat to go on a spiritual retreat to rest up, and they run around the lake so that they're there before Jesus and the disciples even get there. You get the impression of Jesus trying to get out of the boat, and just the crowds are right up there on the shore, pressing in to get this healing that they've heard comes from Jesus. And then Jesus and the disciples travel around the countryside, and the whole countryside starts moving and trying to figure out where he is. Now, check-ins on Facebook and all those other apps that we have don't exist yet, right? And the news doesn't even exist, so this is all word of mouth. I heard he's going that way. I heard he's going that way. Oh, maybe he's going to that village. And then the whole countryside is on the move, trying to figure out where he's going and get there ahead of him so that maybe they'll be the first ones there to touch him. And they beg him to heal the people they love who are sick. You get this sense of all these people and their desperation and their hope that Jesus will be the one who can heal them. Well, I don't know about you, but I've noticed that it's not often today that that's our experience. It's not often today that the crowds, the masses of people, the rush of people are chasing down Jesus or chasing down us. Every once in a while it happens. I think about Thursday evening at 6 o'clock when we're about to open the doors to feed homeless youth in our neighborhood. Sometimes there's a mass of people on the porch banging on the door saying, "Is it dinner time yet?" Sometimes there's a crush of people who rush to us. And I think about right now in New Orleans, almost 35,000 Lutheran teenagers gathered in the Superdome. We haven't talked about this very much as a church because we don't have any high schoolers, but this is a huge thing happening in the life of our Lutheran church right now. Every couple years there's a national youth gathering, and high school youth groups from all over the country come to one location. And I actually have never been. When I was a Lutheran high school student, my church didn't go, and truth to tell, my mother thought it was a whole lot of money for a whole lot of nothing, but she's scared of crowds, and I kind of... This is the first year... Don't tell her I said that. Sorry. Oh, it's on YouTube. She doesn't watch YouTube. This is the first year, though, that everybody can watch from a distance, because not only are these high schoolers tweeting it and Facebooking posting it, but the presentations are live on the website, and you can watch the videos, and you see these leaders in both the Lutheran movement and some of the other churches who are very close to Lutheran, these great leaders in the church right now speaking to 35,000 young adults. I was watching them on YouTube, and actually I posted a bunch of them on the church's Facebook page, so you can go see too. There is not a speech there that only applies to high school students. I promise you, those speeches will blow you all away too. There's Lemme Galvey, the Nobel Peace Prize winner from Liberia. She's a Lutheran, and she talks to them, and she sings This Little Light of Mine to them, and 35,000 teenagers lift up their cell phones in that Superdome. So sometimes it happens that there are crowds of people pressing around the church saying, oh, I need the healing that is here. But I think today, maybe more often in the world that we live in, we're a little bit like that first reading that Renee read. That first reading where the people are scattered, where the prophet says to the kings and the leaders of the people, woe to you shepherds, for you have scattered my people. The people don't know where the central place is to get healing and to get forgiveness and to get meaning and to get value. And the prophet says that's because the leaders have failed. The prophet is speaking to kings of Israel and religious leaders, and there are other parts of this book where he makes it very clear that that's because the powerful have ruled for their own interests and not for the interests of the people. The powerful have told the people the wrong things about where peace and healing and value come from. And I wonder if we look at our world that's a little bit scattered and might say, what happened? Did we tell people the wrong places to go for healing and value and peace? Did we forget to tell people that the church is a place of forgiveness? Did we, as a church, accidentally say that the church is a place of judgment? Did we give them the wrong messages about where is healing and peace and love? I wonder, because it does seem that we as a country are a little scattered and all over the place. People aren't pressing in on us, and we know the scattering in ourselves, the sense of, oh, I don't know if I have a place where I have deep community, or, oh, I don't know where my healing and my peace comes, or, oh, something feels wrong and disconnected about the way that we're living. And the prophet does not blame those individuals for feeling disconnected or scattered, but says we need to look at what messages we've been sent. Of course, there are times when we're pressed together, when we as a crowd or parts of us as crowds are desperately going for something, desperately pressing forward, running out of the movie theater because we're terrified of a shooter. I think of that crowd pressing. Think of times in our political discourse